The thing about Smooya, this is complicated because he also has his own narratives. It's not that he's just an arsehole. He's just the sort of person, right, Steele, where it's like he couldn't not say if he thinks someone who's a teammate's fucking up and did it bad or plays bad. He just can't not say it. He just has to say it, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. He had to, if it's on his mind, it's coming out. Yes. It is coming out. He has no filter. There's no like, for better or for worse, like that's what makes him who he is. And to his credit, he can be really, really, really funny. He's in his own regard, like really hardworking, and he was really talented as well. But he also comes with like a load of baggage where you need to know how to deal with him, and he couldn't really control himself. So like you're always destined to kind of like end in a certain outcome. So we started making the changes where first it was like, okay, Smooya wants to replace Ben. Who are we going to, or I don't know who replaced first. Doesn't matter. It might have been Ben. No, because they were on the team at the same time. It's like, who are we going to get? Well, there's Moose and there's Vanity. And I'd kind of like known both, but I was like, I pushed a little bit for Vanity more. And I think that was like the best decision for the team because Smooya was like, thank you for picking Vanity. And then I think we started steamrolling. And then that's when we were able to like be like, okay, Ben's out, here's Zeppa, or I think it was Zeppa first. We got MC as the coach in at some point in time there early on when we got Smooya as well. And he was also like a driving force behind just being like, yeah, I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to start replacing people if they're not cut out for it. Cam was the next to go, and we got Leaf, and then Leaf had like the thing with like Valorant, and he came back and all this stuff. So I think the domino effect started when we got Smooya, then we got MC, Vanity. All that started kind of pushing us to the chaos that everyone remembers. But the beginning of it, I was so ingrained in my head from Ghost, I can't be the bad guy here. I need to give people time. I need to let people develop. And I know you can't teach experience. So we're going to have some tough losses, and people are going to have to just deal with that. And I might have been too lenient. I might have been too patient. Maybe should have been a bit more of an asshole and pushed more for things. I think that was like another learning experience from, it's like, I went from like kind of one extreme with Ghost. I wouldn't even think I was an extreme. I've seen extreme, but people perceived me as the extreme. So I overcorrected, which is like a trend for me. And like as a player in game, I overcompensate. I overcorrect a lot for like teammates not doing this. I'm going to do it. Teammates not doing that. I'm going to do that. We need a VOD review. I'm going to go and
picking up the slack.
Look at this guy's. Yeah, exactly. So I overcorrected when it came to my IGL style between like Ghost and Chaos. That I became way too just like, yeah, if you want to do that, cool. I'm going to give you time, blah, blah, blah. And I think I was trying to like slowly correct myself back when we had the Chaos roster that everyone remembers us for. Everyone had input. Everyone was like equal. There wasn't like this weird in people's heads hierarchy of like this person has more authority or whatever. Everyone was kind of like could say anything to anyone, and that reminded me of like the teams that you were on when you were like coming into the scene in like 2008 to 2014. There's no like GM that's coming breathing down your neck. There's no like manager like. It's none of that shit. Everyone's equal. Everyone's there because they want to be there. Everyone's working hard, and anyone can say anything to anyone, and it's all chill. And that is like, to me, what makes teams the most ideal is if everyone's kind of just like an equal and can say anything, and nobody's gonna get butthurt. Like, do you want to replace me? Like, nothing's gonna happen like that. So I thought that was like a really good spot to be in, because that's how I remember I was successful as I was getting into the scene. And then Valorant comes out and COVID happens, and we were at Flashpoint at the time, and Smooya has to go back, and he was on HLTV looking at different IGLs because maybe he was trying to replace me. Don't know.
As in, you just saw on his computer, he was just looking at players. Like,
it wasn't me, but it was someone else. Okay. But yeah, they saw it. They saw it, just like going through the different IGL.
He's not the most subtle guy, is he? I know. Come on, bro. By the way, along those lines, let me ask this question then, because that's obviously a mystery if people have never met Smooya and they only know him as a player. Like, this team especially has to be the biggest example ever, dude, because obviously he was carrying when he was on this team. It looked awesome. Everything was looking like it was clicking. The vibe looked good. Yeah. So essentially the question that every fan always wants to know is, Smooya clearly is good at Counter-Strike. So what is it that puts teams off? Like, what? Because when he left, even you weren't even like sort of like bemoaning that much. You were sort of just like, look, we're not going to be as good, but it doesn't suck entirely, you know.
Yeah, he's really good, but he comes with a lot of baggage. So you need to know how to handle that baggage, basically. And if you're not equipped to handle it, then it's like, can we deal with it? Probably not. I think that's what puts him off, because he has had the outburst. He has the no filter. He's probably, had a bad interaction with some people. I'd assume, and that's what. And then because he's had that kind of just thing attached to him where, he's really hard to work with, if no one's out to bat for him on like his positives and to say like, hey, he's like a really good player and he's hardworking, and if you do this, you can make it work. If no one's out to bat for him, then it's like going to be super hard for him to actually find people. I think that's why, like, with Thomas, he's like really good friends with Thomas, and I think that's why he's able to kind of get in and out and get some like success and find some stuff, is because if he's able to have like one or two like friends that will go to bat for him, I think it's going to be or even play with him, I think that makes it way easier for him.
Fair enough.
But also he's older now, he's maybe more mature. Like I haven't spoken to him in a few years really. So maybe that those things that I'm describing now don't even exist anymore.
The other thing as well, especially when you run through all those names, is unlike the Ghost one, man, the amount of talent that was actually in this Chaos team, like we've seen since has gone on and done other things, is ridiculous. Like, let's just start with Vanity. So the other angle that having Vanity end up helping with is obviously he could stand in when they had to play the RMR stuff, etc., because he himself has now become like a full-fledged IGL, right? If people don't know, in Valorant, he's actually quite famous for that. He was doing a great job in Cloud9, right? So who is Vanity? Who was he when you were with him in CSGO?
So Vanity was in-game leading for his previous team, like E United. They had like Moose, and I don't remember who exactly was on that team, but if people remember the clip of me winning a clutch and yelling back, "Where's the shit talk now, you fucking pussies?" That's at Vanity's team.
Okay.
So that was like the extent of knowledge that I had of Vanity. And I just like recently like went back and looked at an event I played in 2017, just when I got unbanned, some like Canadian championship. And I noticed that Vanity was on one of the teams that we just like steamrolled. And he was just like generic noob to me. So when we were talking about like getting players and we're like, well, do we want Moose? Do we want Vanity? I said to Vanity, like, you can join under one condition. You unbind quick switch. This guy was quick switching between knife and guns like it was a fidget spinner or something, and he would just like swing around a corner and just get killed because he has his knife out or something. Right. So I think he was just like younger and inexperienced. His mechanics were like pretty decent, and I think he had like good ideas of the game. I think his mind was just going like a million miles per hour, and there was just so much going on that he kind of had problems like focusing and reining it in. And I think he had a lot of good ideas. Like on Chaos, I wasn't even like IGLing half the time. Like it was like a lot of like one round, John G would be like, yo, let's do the nuke door rush thing that, Big did. And we like had taken it. We had like dry ran it a bunch of times, and it's like he makes this call. Yeah, I'm the door player. I see this opportunity. We're door rushing. And then the next round, Leaf's like, yo, this ramp guy's shit. Let's just rush him down. It's like, okay, we're going ramp. And then Smooya's like, yo, I got an op. Let me work outside. It's like, okay, we're going outside. So that's basically how that team was operating. So it wasn't like I was in game leading and Vanity was co-IGL. It was like everyone was kind of like giving stuff. And we had all these ideas because like we all watched like all the matches. And we all watched like all the VODs from all the pro teams and all the big events. And MCU was also there. So he was trying to like bring ideas and structure and setups and stuff that he either tried and tested on Triumph with his MDL players or whatnot. So we had like all this stuff coming in from, Smooya from Europe. We had MC from his teams as a coach and former IGL. Like he was the IGL of the team that was picked up by Dignitas for that EPL season or whatever. And then we had me and Vanity. So we had so many ideas, and we had a pretty healthy balance of just like passing around like who's got the potato or like the talking stick or whatever.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.